Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rinse and Repeat podcast. Turn up the volume. It's time to rinse off the BS and repeat what's real. I'm your host, Marcy Manna, and thank you so much for joining us. Our guest today has built a huge following through sharp sarcasm and humor, oftenly joking, referring to herself as the worst hairstylist. Behind the humor, though, is a talented stylist and entrepreneur who's created a strong voice in the industry by being relatable, honest, and unapologetically herself. Lexie Rainbolt,
Hello.
Welcome to Rinse and Repeat.
I'm so excited.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. It's been a minute since I've done a podcast, so I'm ready for it.
You know, I don't fangirl like too often, but I have to say I am right now.
Really?
So I really appreciate you coming. Yeah, we're just
Was
so
that what you
honored
expected?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny because when you watch people all the time online, I mean, you really do feel like you kind of know them.
Yeah.
But to see you in real person, it's like so weird.
Oh, that's so funny. I always get a lot of people always are like, you're so much shorter than I thought.
Yeah.
I guess I give off tall girl energy.
You
is
do.
what I've been told.
I think because you have a long torso.
Yeah,
you know?
but yeah. And people are like, oh my God, you're like really short. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like we were just at my boyfriend's like little sister's, 12-year-old sister's volleyball games.
Yeah.
And all the girls there were like taller than me. I'm like, wow. I look like I'm like a child.
No, that's exactly how I am too. I always say if I wore like a hoodie and I just kind of like pulled it up and I went and walked down like a high school like hallway, people probably wouldn't even notice. You know?
Literally.
Okay, so I want to start kind of like before the internet and before people knew who you were. So who was Lexie before anybody was watching?
Honestly, I'm obviously still the same person. I have extreme like imposter syndrome, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I actually struggled a lot with like social anxiety growing up.
Yeah.
And it still kind of stems in like a little bit, but now that like I'm older and I've done hair and stuff like that, obviously I've gotten out of that a little bit. But yeah, just very shy. I lived in a small town in Illinois. And kind of just did my own thing. I really wasn't that interesting. I can't say I still am. So yeah.
I would disagree.
Yeah.
But so back then, what did success look like for you?
Back then I really like when I started my hair career, like I really just wanted to do booth rent. I wanted to like work at the salon. There really was no like, I never had this dream of opening up like a salon. I never had like goals like that, really. I feel like at the very start, I feel like back then I was just I'm a very just like kind of go with the flow.
Did you ever work in a salon or did you go? Oh,
yeah,
you did.
I worked in a commission salon for 6 months. It was like it was like a very small, it was almost like a little like trailer like house. It was actually really funny. And then there was this boutique salon in my town that I wanted to work at so much, but they were only booth rent.
Okay.
And at the time I didn't have money for booth rent.
Right.
So, I took my chances on it like 5 months later because I had a feeling like the place I was at was kind of like closing down. And then I went to this booth rent salon. I worked there for a while. COVID happened. Drama happened in the salon. You know the whole thing.
Oh, God, yeah.
If anyone works at a salon, I know like the drama. And everyone left. The girl went and started her own salon, and I ended up going with her, and I worked at that salon for a couple of years, and that's when my like social media journey started.
Okay, so speaking of social media, like when you first started posting, what did you actually want to gain from the internet?
I would say when I first, obviously attention. I mean, like I feel like everyone who does social media and posts video just wants attention. That's basically
or validation.
There was no like I want to change the world like with my videos. Like no, I wanted attention, and yeah, I don't know. But doing it though, I actually found like a love though for content creation. And when I was younger, I loved to like make YouTube videos of me and all my friends. And I would like play them at their birthday parties. Like I loved editing videos like for friends. They made no sense too, by the way. Like I would put videos of like my hamster in my friend's birthday video that I made for them. I'm like, looking back, I'm like, why would I do that? But
you just post it and see what happens.
I loved like putting videos together and stuff like that. So when I got to do that with my job, it was like,
Did you ever imagine that humor and sarcasm would be the thing that you were known for?
You guys, when I tell you guys I had social anxiety and was like shy growing up, like I thought I was the most uninteresting and unfunny person ever. And so like being on my own, like obviously with my family, my sisters, who I was like obviously really close with, I was very like, obviously myself and like funny and outgoing like that. But like with new people and like new friends, stuff like that, like can be like more shy. So I never thought that like humor was gonna be the way, but I always did have like a dry sense of humor, which obviously you guys know. Like,
yeah, we
now
can
my
definitely see that with all of your content.
Yeah.
Were you like confident back then when you first started posting, or were you just kind of terrified?
Yeah, I feel like when I first started posting, I wasn't myself at all. If you were to go back and watch my videos, I sounded very like customer servicey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hi guys, it's Lexie. Today we're gonna like, it just like what doesn't even sound like me. I sound like a baby. And but yeah, I wasn't confident in myself at all, I feel like, when I first started. And you can see that with my videos, though. You can see that shift that I made though, when that happened and everything.
Yeah. Do you ever, or did hair ever feel like your forever plan?
Yeah.
Really? You
Yeah.
always kind of knew that you
Which
wanted
is
to do
really
it?
crazy because when I was little, I used to be like my mom. Obviously, you know, people ask like what you want to do when you grow up.
Yeah.
And I would always say hair. Even when I was like 5 years old, I'd be like, I want to be a hairstylist. I'd beg my mom for the doll heads and stuff like that. And then I got to college or high school, and they had this thing called Career Center where you could get your cosmetology license in like high school.
Yeah.
I dropped out. I was like, I want to go to college like all of my friends are. And then my parents wouldn't let me go to like a real 4-year college because they didn't really.
Yeah.
I think they were like, she doesn't actually know what she wants to do. So like, I was just going to party basically to like go with my friends. And so I went to a community college and I failed so terribly. I took 3 classes, failed all of them the first semester. And I was just like, school's never been my thing. I'm more of like a creative. I'm more of like, I want to like do stuff hands-on.
Yeah, definitely.
So I remember like my parents were very happy when I was like, I want to go do cosmetology school. Like, I want to try it.
Yeah.
So then I finally went to a school after that first semester of college.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that was what I wanted to do, but it's really interesting because when I look back, like I was highlighting people's hair in high school, pulling it through a cap because that was all the options that we had back then. And when I think about actually doing that, I'm like, oh my God, I could have like fried some hair off or really done some
like
what was I doing? And I was getting paid by cigarettes. People would pay me with like packs of cigarettes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so
that's a great payment. No,
I know, so stupid. But it's like my mom was the one that kind of pushed me, you know, when I was trying to decide what is it that I want to do. I was trying to decide, do I want to go to college? What do I want to do? She said, well, you've always done hair. Why don't you, go for that? So it was something that I just kind of stepped into. What were you insecure about at that stage when you first started posting?
I would say my biggest insecurity with like posting, I would say, is I cared too much about what everyone else thought. So I was posting for other people. I was posting for other hairstylists. I was trying to be like, oh, they're probably gonna want to see like my education, like my technique or something like that. Like I was posting for other people. I wasn't posting things because I like to post them or like I wanted to. I was thinking, what's gonna get the views? What's gonna get the likes? What's gonna, And it's really funny when you think like that. It never is going to work out for you because it's when you're thinking about a numbers game, it becomes a negative and it's like not.
Yeah. So walk me through that, like that first video that really went viral. Like what was that like? And what was the video? Do you remember?
I do. So I feel like there's 2 different sets of like because I obviously had like a viral video like back in like 2020 or 2021 or something, which was just like me showing my prices or something. It wasn't my sarcastic video that you guys know me from now. So like there's a difference from that and like when I started posting after that versus when I finally stopped caring what everyone else thought and then started posting my sarcastic ones. But on that one is obviously the more important one.
Was it an expensive one or something? Like why did it go viral?
No, the one, is it like the first one I ever did, the expensive one? No, it was so cheap that everyone was like, damn, like she did
to charge more.
That full fry for like $100. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, but like at the time I wasn't saying full fry. Yeah, that was before. That was pre-worst hairstylist. I was trying to be the best hairstylist back then and then I realized it's just not me. My first like worst hairstylist video that I made, I remember like going home and this was the first time I had ever like recorded and like I think my sister was with me that day. She like came in and I was like, can you just take a couple clips of me doing this? She was like, yeah. And I went home and I edited the video and I was like, this girl's prom hair or something like that. And I made up like, I'm going to ruin her prom hair. I'm going to ruin her prom. She's like, yeah. And that was the first time I think I said like the frying joke and anything. So anyway, I posted it and I went to dinner with my mom and I remember looking at my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is doing like really great.
Really good,
And like it was fun for me though, was the difference. Like I actually like I went home and I was creative with like, and I wasn't even, the thing is like still to this day, people are like, how do you plan out your videos and stuff? I don't. Whatever comes out of my mouth, I post and I say.
Yeah.
And it's been embarrassing. I have so many cringy moments because I do that. Like there are some videos where I'm like, why would I say that?
And but it
that's
seems
just,
very authentic.
yeah, it's
though,
just like that's what
Yeah.
I ended up doing. And like I remember after that one video though, I went back to the salon the next day. I filmed all day and I went home and I did the same thing, and it really stuck. It really was something that I had so much fun doing. So
what changed for you overnight when that happened?
I wouldn't say like really anything like overnight, other than I was excited now to go to work and do content too. So it almost made me like want to go to work more, because I knew I was going to get content. I knew I was going to be able to like edit these videos, do these voiceovers and stuff like that. But yeah, I wouldn't say it was like an overnight change, but yeah.
Just like gradually kept getting more and more views.
Yep.
Did going viral amplify parts of yourself that you weren't ready to confront?
Not really, I don't think. Like, I would say
like, were you at all prepared for how permanent like the internet can be?
Yeah, no, I don't think I still even realize how permanent the internet is. Like, I don't think I have had to learn my lesson a couple of times with some of the things that I say online, and realize like that's there forever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I've brought up
even
like,
if you delete it, because it's like people have watched it already or whatever. So they already have this, you know.
Yes, like they remember things. And like I've said, like obviously, like I mean, I can say this now, like with like my family and stuff like that. Like I'm not very close with my family and like my parents and stuff like that. But that stuff, like it's there, you know, now everyone knows that forever.
Yep. Did people start treating you differently in real life, like once you did go viral?
Yeah, it's hard for me to think back to like when I lived in Illinois. I feel like I'm a completely different person from that person now.
Yeah.
But my friends back home, for sure. Like I feel like I don't really talk to like anyone that I was like really close with at the time, which says a lot. I feel like it says a lot about kind of the friendships that I had. But yeah, and when I moved away though, the biggest thing that I've learned with like social media and like having this like platform is like I don't feel like I would have made friends as easily when I moved to Florida, because like I said, I'm more of a quiet and like shy person. Like I love to just sit in my own house like by myself. But because I did social media, I had people reaching out to me being like, hey, like we should go out and be friends. And so like that's how I made like a lot of my friends when I moved. Which was so nice and so helpful for someone who does kind of like struggle with like putting myself, like I'm not the type of girl that's gonna go sit at a bar and be like, make friends. So yeah, I would say that was like, people do treat you like a little bit differently, which I've always kind of thought is slightly like a negative thing too, because like I'm like, do you actually like me sometimes, or like is it, especially in South Florida where it's all everyone's trying to do the same thing, so like I can be at like a bar, I can be somewhere and be like, no one cares about me at all. But then one person comes up to me and says something, then everyone cares all of a sudden. And it's just like, you didn't give a shit about me like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, exactly. Your sarcasm is pretty much iconic, but I want to talk about what it protects. Do you ever worry that people don't take you seriously because you are so sarcastic?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like it more is a positive thing, if we're being honest. Like, I feel like I'm able to say a lot, I'm able to do a lot because of the jokes that I make and the things that I do that a lot of people wouldn't even be able to do. Like, say, like, for example, like, say, like, Devin, like, bragging about, like, if she were to say the jokes that I do, people would take it so seriously and probably rip her to shreds. But, like, for me, I can kind of say whatever I want to say. And, like,
I mean, I think, though, in the beginning, didn't they kind of? Because I do recall, like, some of your videos where you're like, I charge, like, $400, $500 for that. And people are like, what? Yes. How dare you?
I think I like realized, I don't know, the rage bait for me has always just been like to where now people are just like kind of expected. But there was a time where obviously people, but I thought that was like part of the bit for me. It was kind of funny. Like I kind of like when people don't get the joke. So it sucks now because like I'll post videos now. I'm like, everyone knows the joke now though. So I'm like, I gotta find, because sometimes it'll reach people. Say a video blows up. Sometimes it gets to like the old people that are like very like they don't know, they don't get the jokes and stuff.
They don't.
And like those are kind of like funny to read.
Yeah.
Like they're like they're like, what do you mean you cut all of her hair off? I'm like, what do you mean you think I did that actually for real? Like
exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. What happens when the internet expects you to be on, but you're like completely exhausted?
I struggle with that like a lot. I feel like more recently than I did before because I'm growing up a little bit, and like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Like when I'm on, I feel like there is like a little bit of a pressure to always kind of be like on and be like whatever. But I've actually found a very good balance with kind of taking a break with things. Or like just being like, I'm not going to post for a couple of days and not feel guilty about it. Or not. I used to think I had to post every single day.
Right. And I do recall like some of your content, even at times where, where you're like depressed and you just were in a very bad place and, sharing that. So I do think it's okay, to just take a step back.
I think that is the biggest thing, because I used to go to social media when I was upset or when I was going through things and just kind of like spill everything. But then I've kind of learned that doesn't really change anything or like make anything like better. It's kind of like I've had to learn, like, especially something that someone told me a long time ago too, is like, don't, like, when you're angry, like, I have a way of like, when I'm angry, I like to talk and like get mad and say things and like whatever. But I've learned to be like, when you're angry, just take a step back, but only speak when you're like over it.
Yeah,
over
when
that,
you're calm.
And yes.
Yeah.
And like that's
your
changed
emotions.
so much, because it's like, when you process that and then you speak on it, your words are very different.
Yes.
So
when emotions are high, intelligence is low. That's what I always say. And I've had to learn that too, because I'm Italian and I'm a hothead. So when I was younger, I would just react instead of just kind of take the step back and process your emotions and then, you know, kind of approach it that way.
Yeah.
So let's get honest about business. When money entered the conversation, did it empower you or did it complicate things?
I would say it opened up a lot of like opportunity.
Yeah.
I would say that more so, like, I wouldn't have been able to move to Florida without doing social media and having like that extra income, which is something that changed my whole life.
Yeah.
So I feel like it definitely just opened up more of an opportunity for me. And like,
for sure, because that is a big step. I mean, so moving, you basically had to start over. But I would assume that because you had that social media presence, that you really can go anywhere probably and have clients. Do most of your clients follow you on social media and they come because of that? Like, are they traveling in, or do you do a lot of local people?
I do a lot of local people, and I honestly really don't like to do people that live out of state, because I just like the pressure of them coming and me being like sick or something and being like, I just don't want to deal with it. But no, I think moving, I always like to be honest with like people, especially my classes I teach and stuff, and be like, I'm not going to sit here and say I had the hardest time when I moved, because I did have a following. But at the time, my following was like a quarter kind of like what it is now. And I don't know who from that following was from Florida. But I remember a couple weeks before I moved to Florida, I had like, I was kind of trying to build my book, and I had like a couple people on my books before I moved, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, it kind of just like spirals, especially with my clientele that I have, it being like younger and being college and high school and stuff. Like word travels like fast, like with those girls. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You do friend groups there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What is a misconception that people have about influencer money?
I would say, one, they think that, I think every influencer is different.
Yeah.
Like, I think that some people can act like they have so much money, and like some people, like, it's a weird thing, and I feel like that's why no one talks about money with influencing, which has always been weird to me. I'm like, why don't people just say how much they made off this or something?
Yeah.
But I think that's why they don't, is because everyone is different.
It's so different.
Like, someone could have the same following as me, and they're probably getting paid like way more or something, but like I don't know how to charge, like whatever. So
because
it's just like
is
weird.
it mostly like, do you get paid from like the videos? Like, is it like a per watch, or is it mostly from brand deals?
So you can do like the creator fund, which is like per videos. I'm so mad at myself for not joining that though.
Yeah.
Because I had this weird conspiracy like in my head. Like, people would tell me, like, when I first started, they're like, well, don't join the creator fund, because then they don't want to pay you. So they'll just like they'll just lower your views. Yeah. So for the longest time, I wasn't in it. And then I joined it like last year or something. And I do feel like my views are about to drop, but I don't know if it's because of that, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, you know, you have like your moments with stuff. But like, it's not, the getting paid from videos that you post is not at all as much as like a brand deal. So with influencing, you want brand deals. You want long-term ones though.
Yeah.
So there's like, I feel like different sides of influencing that are like your influencers that you see that maybe like aren't hairstylists, like you're just everyday ones that are doing makeup and stuff like that. They have more of like the one-on brand deals and stuff.
Right.
For someone like me, I can't do something like that because I do hair, and I have to be like, I can't be like, this is the best shampoo. Never mind, this is the best shampoo.
Right.
Like, you really have to work with the brands that you actually genuinely love and use.
Yeah.
So, I have a couple that like I do, and that's pretty much like it though. Like, as a hairstylist influencer, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Did you learn to kind of negotiate along the way? Like, I guess like what you were doing?
It still is probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
But I don't have a manager. I don't have like a management or anything. I never have.
Okay,
yeah.
So
it's funny because I tell people like my email, like in my bio and stuff, it's like HBL managed. I'm like, nah, it's just me. I just did that to make it look like I had a management.
Yeah.
Like, so that like people would reach out or whatever. No, it's me. So like they would message me like Lexie and team, and I'm like replying back. I'm like, hey, and like I'm the most like I don't know how to email. Like my boyfriend's had to teach me how to like email because like he does it a lot for work and stuff.
That helps a lot.
Yes, chat has been a lifesaver.
Yeah.
I know that ChatGPT is a sensitive thing and some people might not like it, but it is my friend.
I love it. I'm very dry and very direct when I respond to things. And sometimes it can come off harsh. And so I have to use that ChatGPT before I respond to any email. That way I sound a little bit more professional. Otherwise, it's going to sound bad.
Yeah.
Has financial success ever affected like your personal relationship?
I think like, I don't know if it's really like affected my relationships. I feel like kind of the same thing with like you don't really know who to trust.
Yeah.
On that aspect of things. Like I've had like, I remember like I made a friend when I moved to Florida and like he would like watch my cats for me and stuff. And this is like a crazy story. But I would just keep as a hairstylist, whenever I get cash, I'll just keep it in my drawer, right? And I had this like weird feeling that like it had been touched or something. And so the next time he watched my cats, I planted a $10 bill in that same thing, but I moved all the rest of the money somewhere else. And when I came back, it was gone. And I'm like, $10, man, really? And like I realized then though that I was like, I'm like, oh, like is he just like my friend? Like I don't know, because like I would help him out a lot though, because I'm a very like giving person. Like I just like I don't know, like with my friends and everything. So I have had to learn to not be like that. I think that was more so like a me. Like I had to learn that side of things, but I don't think it's like like made a huge
shitty thing to do.
Insane. It's so insane. But
people are crazy. So with that, like, are there ever moments that you have guilt, you know, hanging around other people that maybe are struggling?
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't think like, I don't know. It's so hard for me because like I said too, like I don't know. I like try and like I don't know, like my sisters and stuff like that. Like I do maybe feel like there's a little bit of like, you know.
I mean, I get that too because like I've always said, there is like this stigma, right, of like hairstylists don't make money. And I'm like, are you alive? Like hairstylists make really good money. And I do feel bad because some of my friends that have they have college degrees. I mean, some of them have like master degrees.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know.
Yeah, when you own your own business, you can really like make so much money being a hairstylist. Even when I first started, like I remember like when I first started, I wasn't even doing social media at all. But like my friends were all in college at the time, or they had they were all in college. And like right when they graduated though, like I had a full savings already and stuff like that from being 19 years old working behind the chair.
It's crazy.
And so
it is crazy. So one of your most like visible partnerships obviously has been with Fraymar Foils, right?
Yeah, really excited.
So I know that you've talked about it before, but how did that partnership kind of initially come together? Like I've heard you say that you were bugging them, right? Yeah.
So like back in so I've been using Fraymar foils since I was like even in school, like the rose all day, the all black ones, like when they didn't even have patterns yet, I was using them. And I remember like kind of just like, I don't know, posting them online all the time, like especially like even before I started really doing social media. Like that's how like Redken noticed me and stuff. I had always used shades ever since I started. But I remember when I actually started to build a relationship with them, I would like be on like their lives and be like, can we do a foil together? And they would be like, no, or they would just ignore me. Or I would see them in person at the hair shows and I'd be like, can we please do a foil together? And they would be like, no, like we're booked out until like 2026, sorry. And I'm just like, okay. But so obviously to a point I didn't like keep bugging them about it, but like they knew it was there. They knew I wanted to do one. They knew I was like, you know. But yeah, that's kind of like how I
I mean that's a huge deal. Kind of attaching yourself to them.
And we became so close like over the years.
How you view yourself even? Like I've made it.
Yeah. You know, it's a really that's where I'm saying with the what is it? Oh my God. You know when like what is it called again?
When what?
Oh my God, imposter syndrome.
Oh, imposter syndrome. Yes.
Yes. I'm like, what is it called?
Yeah, but now, I mean, you can't have that now.
Yeah. Oh, I still do. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even with that stuff, like, it just doesn't even feel like real. Like,
oh my God.
It's just like a really,
To me, that would be like, I have made it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the most
in
exciting,
like,
definitely. Especially because Fraymar, they had only done a partnership with, Jamie Dana. That was the only other like influencer they had done. So for it to be me out of everyone, I still to this day I'm like, I don't know how,
Yeah.
but yeah. I think it's just because like I had been going to hair shows with them every time. I loved going to like
Yeah.
their booth and stuff. Like, so we just all became friends and like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Okay, so we are going to take a break and do a game.
Okay.
Okay. So this
scared.
one is going to be send or spill. So you
Okay.
basically either have to, I'll say something, you either spill, or if you don't want to answer it, then you can send a text of what I tell you to do.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay, so the spill is your biggest WTF was I thinking moment behind the chair.
There was this one time that this was like back when I worked in a salon, and I would use permanent color more back then. And I remember she was a level 7.
Okay.
I mixed up a level 3.
Oh no.
I mixed up a level 3 just not even knowing it.
Yeah.
And I went to like go start like putting it on her hair, and for some reason it was oxidizing a little bit quicker than like I thought it was gonna. And like I was like, I'm gonna go like double check this real quick and just make sure. And that like it was a level.
It was a level.
I literally only put it, I think, on like the very bottom back of, like, so it was savable.
At least in the back.
But still, like that is my biggest like what you got to pay more attention.
Yeah.
Like that is insane. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard of like other people having like done the whole head though of that, and I cannot imagine.
Yeah, because
I don't even know what I would tell someone if I did that.
I would cry.
Yeah.
I would just cry.
Yeah, but I actually have fried off a girl's hair though before too.
I have too. I think we all have done that.
I mean, like people are always like, "Oh, you actually fry people's hair?" I'm like, I did one time.
Yeah,
it's kind of the joke is coping with it. Like,
yeah, I think we all have done that.
No, I always tell people like if their hairstylist says that they've never fried someone's hair off, they're lying. They're lying.
They're lying.
Why, yeah, like it's insane. So, I remember doing this girl's hair, and she was young. I was young. I was 19. I was just right out of school. And she had her boyfriend with her. And it was like, I don't know if it was her birthday hair or Valentine's Day hair or something special. And she wanted to go full. At the time, I was doing full blonde, like the white blonde. It was just, it was what everyone wanted. And so I remember I start foiling up. And at this time, it took me like a while to foil the head. But I remember feeling the foils and they were really hot. And I was like,
that's never good.
Oh, well. I'm like, that's weird, but like, I'm going to keep going because like, I don't know. I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know what I was doing. So I keep going. And then I start getting this wave of panic. You know when like you start to just feel something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I started getting this like anxiety. And I was like, I'm just going to go wash out the back. I think I finished the whole back. I started doing the front. So I go to wash out the back. And mind you, this was a client that was like, I don't want a haircut. And I start pulling the foil. The hair's just coming with it.
Oh, no.
It was but the problem is like the whole back of her head is blonde now. The front's not. I'm like, I have to continue foiling.
We have to keep going. Yeah.
So my dumbass goes back. And I'm like hiding it at this point. Like her hair is like kind of coming out. And I foil the rest of the head. But I'm watching it a lot more in the front. Like just pulling it out right when it turns blonde. I'm like, I don't even care. And I would remember telling her though, I'm like, so I know you said you didn't want a haircut, but I was like, I think we're gonna have to do one. There was some sort of like reaction or something happened on your hair. So what ended up happening, it definitely was, she was using something on her hair. It caused a chemical reaction. I didn't ask those questions in the consultation. But what's nice about that experience though, is it never happens again.
Yeah, because
once you do that, it has happened again. The thing is like I've had not the frying part, but someone's foils have been super hot when I started going. But like immediately when I felt that, they're gone. Yeah. And we can't do it. I'm sorry. Yep. It's like your hair's having a reaction. It's almost like a test strand. Like I was like, your hair is just like having a reaction to this.
You end up with that situation where I remember, when you do that, it's like they have a nice highlight until about here. And then because it broke off, then they have nothing down here. And I'm like, whoops.
I still think about that girl though to this day. And she's probably like, no, that girl actually fried my hair off. I'm surprised she's never made like a video or something about it. I think about her often.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what is a time that you completely lied to a client to save the appointment?
Oh, I mean, I feel like we've all kind of maybe said this before, but like it'll wash out a little bit,
Yeah, it'll fade.
I'll
just go home and
hair
shampoo.
darker, and I'm like, it's black at the end, and I'm like, just give it a couple washes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep, we all
and
do
they will.
that.
They'll go home and give it a couple washes, and most likely they usually don't come back, so.
No, yep. What's the worst color correction that you've ever attempted and regretted?
I feel like I've done so many color corrections. Like, actually, I don't do as many as a lot of people do because they give me stress, so I don't take them
They are
anymore.
stressful.
I try to avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
But sometimes people walk in and you're like, oh, unexpected color correction.
Yep.
I don't know that there's one that I regret because, to be honest with you, I think that I feel like good after I do a color correction, no matter what, even if it comes out. Like there's been times where like I've tried to cover it with something or fix something and it's just not turned out the way. But I don't have any like insane like crazy ones
Yeah.
other than.
And I think too, as long as you're like honest about
Mhm.
the outcome,
Yes.
they're happy with whatever
That is
they've
something too
achieved.
that I'm very I learned early
Yeah.
on too to be like, listen, like it's a under promise over deliver.
Yeah.
You
At
know,
best,
it's a great
you
thing
might
to
get
do.
this. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. So what is a trend that you think looks terrible, but clients will not stop asking for?
I think the Scandinavian hairline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it looks terrible.
Yeah.
Let's just get that straight. I think on some people it looks really great, but I think that on some like hair types, I don't know. I do feel like sometimes I just like don't love the look of a
It could
Scandinavian.
be harsh.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
But yeah.
Okay. So what is one hair educator or influencer that you think is overrated?
That's a crazy question. Me? No, I'm kidding. No. I don't want to answer that one. So
Okay.
what do I got to do? What's the deal?
Text someone, would you still be my friend if I switched to box dye?
Oh, okay. Should I text Stu?
Yeah. Yeah. A time another stylist copied your work or content and you actually did notice that.
I had this person actually really weirdly on Facebook who would steal my videos and post them on Facebook. Just the exact video itself. Steal them and post them on Facebook. And I remember though, like they were blowing up though on Facebook because I don't post my videos on Facebook.
Oh.
And so at the time, the name though was Curtis. And like it was a picture of me as like the profile picture, but the name wasn't mine. So I'm like, how are people believing that this is me? One. And two, so then people started tagging me in it and I started realizing, so I'm annoyed at this point. So I remember messaging this person and being like, hey, can you stop stealing my videos, take them down, whatever, this is me. And they were like using the thing where when you download the video from TikTok to not get it with a watermark, you can go like online and do something, but it changes your voice if you don't download it in HD. So like I already have like a little bit of a deeper voice. This man was making me sound like I smoked 8 packs a day.
Oh my God.
In these videos. Like they were a hard watch for me. And I was like, you gotta stop posting these videos. So, and you know what he did? Didn't respond, added me as a top fan.
Oh my God.
Fair enough. I was like, it's kind of funny. Yeah. Got kind of a funny move. But yeah, no,
So did he keep posting them or did
he did for a while, but I went and checked actually like a couple weeks ago and just the account's like not there anymore, which is nice. Cause I actually started posting my videos on Facebook. So I think that I think they probably finally were like, okay, because I think I just need to make my own account and start posting them on there. But yeah, but it kind of got creepy to the point where like one time like I would be like in Chicago or something visiting and like he would put his location like in Chicago today.
Ew.
And I'm like, that's really weird. So it started kind of getting like scary.
Yeah.
But I'm glad like that's not a thing.
That is creepy. Yeah. Okay, so what is a rumor that somebody started about you that actually was true?
That actually was true?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think a rumor that someone started that was true though.
Yeah. Is there any? Maybe there's
I don't know if like, yeah, if someone started a rumor, I feel like most of the time they're not true.
What's the craziest rumor somebody did start about you?
There was one that this girl that I like kind of knew her too, which was like kind of like weird. But she would tell everyone like say that like I like grew up with like money and like grew up like handed like things and stuff like that. And I just did not at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's actually one of the most annoying rumors about myself because it's like people don't know, they don't understand like at all like how I grew up and like if you were to see the house I grew up in and stuff, it is it's not a big house. It's not like, granted I wasn't like poor.
Yeah.
But yeah, we definitely like, my parents were not handing me anything, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, for people to say that, because, like, obviously I know now. It was, like, right when I got my car, my Mercedes, I started having people say stuff like that. They're like, she's just, like, always had it. And I'm like, no.
And you're like, no, I worked my ass off for
the Chevy Malibu I had right before that, I worked my ass off and I bought myself, like, when I started doing hair. So,
yeah, that would be annoying.
Yeah.
Who in the industry intimidates you the most? And why?
Okay, definitely. I love her so much.
Yeah.
But she's the most intimidating person. Maggie, MH, you guys know her?
Oh, yes.
I love her, but she's so intimidating.
Yeah.
But like in the best way possible though, because she has this aura and she has this like, she is so good at what she does that like every time I'm around her though, I'm like, I'm like scared. Yeah. But it's like, it's a good thing though, I feel like. But yeah,
definitely. Okay, so visibility always has a cost. When did you first realize that not everyone was rooting for you?
When I moved away. I think.
Okay,
I think when
what kind of changed for that?
Yeah, I think like my friends that I had back in my hometown, them not really, or even some of my clients back in my hometown that like just had never said a word after. That kind of like stings a little bit because it's like that's where I started everything. So for like people to not really even say anything.
Yeah.
But the people who have, obviously, like I notice, and like it's really crazy though, because sometimes it's like the most random people who like I really didn't even talk to that are reaching out to me and being
Yeah.
like you're doing so great, like good,
That's
and like
good,
but
yeah.
like my best friends and people like
I
that I had
know.
like I
Yeah.
haven't said a word.
Yeah.
So it's like
I feel
that
like that
was the
always is
biggest.
like that. It's like the
Mhm.
people that you think are there to support you really are not.
Yeah, it's a really hard thing to learn.
It
But
is. Yeah,
yeah.
it's a hard pill to swallow.
Mhm.
What kind of criticism hurts the most online for you?
There definitely is, like, I obviously, like, receive a lot of credit, but I'm very good at, like, hiding
Yeah.
my feelings about it. I don't know if, like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very good at, like, just burying that stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not kind of letting it.
We have to kinda
Mhm.
be like that because sometimes I feel like people are trying
Yeah.
to get a rise or get a
Yes.
reaction or whatever.
I will say when I first started ever posting this, I used to have a really hard time, though. I was really afraid of other people's opinions,
Yeah.
so when someone would say something,
Yeah.
I would actually take it to heart,
Mhm.
or I would fight back in the comments or something like that, but, like, now you won't catch me doing that. Like, I don't really, like yeah.
Mhm. Have you
Yeah.
ever questioned, like, with all of the criticism, good or bad, like, if it's even worth it, or does the positive kinda outweigh that?
The positive okay, it's hard to just be like, "Oh, the positive's, like, better,"
I
because
know,
when you do
yeah.
social media, all the negative's always you're
Yeah.
always gonna, like, think about the
Oh,
negative.
yeah.
But no, I feel like for me, it has I have really, like, realized it's really funny though, because 'cause I'll actually save I started doing this, like, a long time ago when I
Mhm.
first started posting on social media, and people would reach out to me, and they would be like, "I love your stuff so much." Like, they probably have no idea that I do this, but, like, I screenshot every person
Aw.
that has, like, ever sent me, like, a nice
Aw,
message, and I
yeah.
have them all so that someday, like, if I'm having a bad day or if I'm having
Yeah.
a negative day or hate day, like, I'll go
You
back and
can
I, like,
look at
reread all
it.
the people that do love me. So,
Yeah.
like, that is something that,
That's
like, helps. Yeah.
awesome. That is really good.
Yeah.
How did you kinda learn to separate, yourself from that negative
Mm.
feedback?
I'm not sure, like, how I really, like,
Was
learned
there,
to do
like, a
that. Like, I
certain
just
moment or thing online where you're like, "No, I absolutely cannot do this again," or is it just you really try to just not look? Or do
I
you
try to
read the
just not
comments?
I do, I read the comments sometimes, but, like, sometimes so, like, on some videos, like, there are some, like, where I do kinda just, like, I'm like, "I'm just not even gonna, like, look
Yeah,
at it
I
or
don't
read
even
it or
look.
do the."
That's what I always say. I mean, not
Mhm.
that I'm not anywhere near where you are, but it's like it's just funny to me how some of the things that people say, and I'm like, "Joke's on you, I don't even read that."
Yeah,
Like, I don't
exactly,
even
like, it's just
like, I don't even go back and look. I'm like, I
yeah.
barely even know how to check the activity on my account,
Mhm.
let alone go back and read the
I will
comments.
say Instagram comments are super brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, those videos like, again, though, like, I don't really again, like, I don't know why I
Mhm.
do a very good job. I think that that's probably
I
why I've gotten so far in my
I was
career
gonna
is because I
say,
don't
yeah,
really
yeah,
let that really, like, the noise, I
yeah.
guess.
I think that you definitely have to be that way.
Yeah.
So, you've shared parts of your personal life publicly, and people have had opinions. What made you comfortable sharing your relationship online, like, initially?
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like at one point, I liked to post, like, everything about,
Yeah.
like, my relationship, my
Yep.
family, and stuff
Yep.
like that. But yeah, that's just always been, like I would look up to these other influencers that
Mhm.
were doing that and,
Mhm.
like, just kinda spilling their whole lives and stuff, and I just was like, "I wanna do that too."
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
seems kinda, like, fun. But yeah, that's, like I don't know, I just kinda, like, started there was nothing that really made me feel super comfortable doing it. I think I just started doing it, like
Well, and I mean, it's your life too. You're
yeah.
sharing your life, and
Yeah,
obviously,
exactly,
like
and kind of letting people
yeah.
in on a different side
Yes.
of my life I like
Yes.
to do, but I have found that there's, like, a balance with that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
did you kind of underestimate, like, how entitled people feel to have an
Yeah.
opinion about your relationship and your personal life?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is yeah, I feel like a lot of people they love the drama. See,
Yes.
that's the thing, though, is when you're talking about your family or your relationship and stuff like that, like, the videos do so good because people love, like, hearing your life
Yes.
and stuff like that, but
Yes.
at the same thing, you're at the cost of, like, when I talk about my family, it affects my sisters, and they didn't ask for it.
Yeah, that's
When
what I
I
was
talk
gonna
about my
ask,
boyfriend, it affects
yeah.
his family that didn't ask for it. So it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So the commentary does kinda spill over, and it
mhm.
does it affect other people, like, in those circles?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's kind of why, yeah, I take a now I feel like a little bit like, you learn with those things
For
on social
sure.
media. They
Yeah.
like because I don't have there's no rule book, there's no one teaching you, like, what you should
No,
and
no,
shouldn't
no.
say.
Yeah, no.
So, I feel like you just kinda gotta learn on your own or learn from other people's mistakes, and yeah.
Yeah, for
But,
sure. So what boundaries exist now that maybe didn't back then?
kind of just the more so the, like, talking, like, when I'm like upset or like just
Mhm.
trying to like,
Yep.
get a reaction or something like that.
Yep.
Like trying to make people on my side
Yeah.
for something that's like, I'm looking for like that validation on like that,
Yeah.
So I feel I've definitely learned with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Did you ever or do you ever feel like sometimes when something happens that you like owe people an explanation?
Yeah, there are some things that like a good for example, like with my family and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I started talking about that this summer, I went and visited my
Yeah,
parents for the
yeah.
first time in like years. So I did feel like part of me when I was there, like I obviously felt like my parents probably didn't want me, like
Yeah.
but like I'm like, you know what? But
They
I've
wanna
told these
know.
people,
Yeah.
so yeah. But I
They're
actually
curious.
never. But the good thing about that was no one ever like really like pressured after
Yeah.
the fact to be like, what happened or like whatever. Now you guys probably are. No, I'm just kidding.
So bringing up kind of the parent thing,
Mhm.
I'm sure, I mean, I'm curious. I'm sure a lot of other people are curious too as to what is that relationship like now?
Yeah.
And kind of, did they have an opinion about you going viral and being online and putting your life out there?
Yeah. So like growing up, I had a hard like I always say like there are parts of like my child like I just don't remember
Yeah.
because I hated being a kid.
Yep.
So like it's just like my parents and I had like a little bit of a rocky relationship. I moved out really like young.
Mhm.
And so when I moved away, like it was kind of like a hard time.
Yeah.
And like I was like, I'm leaving, like
Yeah.
whatever. And then I didn't talk to them for like 3 years.
Mhm.
But when I remember when I told them I was moving and stuff like that, like and I was doing social media, they didn't really like understand it.
Yeah.
They
I
were
think
kind
that's
of
where it
just like I
comes.
was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to teach these classes around
Yeah.
the States and I'm doing all of these great things. And like my parents were just like, cool.
Yep.
Like they were just like, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go do my own thing and whatever.
Yeah.
So ended up doing that. Did a no contact for a while,
Mhm.
had to. This summer ended up being like, kind of like just open that back up and just
Yeah.
see because like
Yeah.
being someone that doesn't have that relationship, like it's hard for a kid
It is.
and
yeah.
like a parent to because so as like the kid, you're always
Mhm.
like, I don't know why you always feel like bad for
Yeah.
some reason, but like anyway, I went and visited and like I still like it's good now because
Yeah.
I am in contact with them now.
Yeah.
So like
that's
I'll talk to them every once in a
Mhm.
while, see them.
Yeah.
I saw them once and I might see them again soon.
good. Yeah.
So I feel like that's really good. But as far as like them with like the social media side of things in me, they've never really like brought it up or like
Yeah.
really even like said anything
Yeah.
about it.
Well,
For a
and
while
it's-
though, I would be like, my mom's definitely one of my haters. For a while, there was a point where I was like, this user something's gotta be mom. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I feel like that it's just kind of like, it's just a part of like my journey
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I know.
No.
Everybody has their trauma shit with their
Yeah,
parents.
exactly.
As I do too.
And I
you
feel like
know?
that that's probably like, I feel like if people who do social media, there's always some sort of like, they have some sort of like trauma.
Well, everybody
Some-
does.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like literally everybody does. But yeah, you get to a point where it's like, well, at least I did, because once you start having kids and things like
Mhm.
that, you kind of get to this point where it's like, I just have to accept these people for who they are, not what I want them to be,
Yeah.
right? Like they're never going to be what I want them to think that they
Yes.
should be. So I either have to kind of accept it and have the relationship, or I
That's
don't have
exactly
one.
like what
Yeah.
what I had to do. It's
Yeah.
like it's you
Nobody's
can't make
perfect.
somebody
Yeah.
say let you be the person that that they should be or like whatever. It's just kind of like this
Yeah.
is my situation. So
Yeah.
either you deal with it or you don't. Yeah.
So you have 5 siblings, is that correct? Okay, so how do they are they online? How do they kind of react to your world?
So yeah, it was my family dynamics like so my parents had my brother and my sister, and they're 10 years older than me.
Okay.
But they're like the Irish
That's a big
twins or
gap,
whatever.
yeah.
You guys ever heard of that?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So yeah, there's them, and then they skipped 10 years and had 3 more kids. And me and
Okay.
my 2 other sisters are very close. We're each 2 years apart. I'm in the
Mhm.
middle of them too.
Okay.
So us 3 really grew up together, and then my oldest sister moved to Miami
Mhm.
when I was younger, and my brother moved to like St. Louis. So as far as like that family dynamic, it was always like I felt like there was like 2 different groups. Like it was
For
my brother
sure,
and my
yeah,
sister, and there
yeah.
was us 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would visit. Like I visited my sister in South Florida, loved it there. So like
Yeah.
that's why I ended up moving. But yeah, as far as them like with my social media journey, my oldest sister that I moved to South Florida with has probably seen the most of it.
Mhm.
Because she's really been here throughout. Like I
Yeah.
moved to Boca like to
Mhm.
be like close to her.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I feel like she's helped me through like a lot of stuff, and like she's became like my mom a little bit at one
Yeah.
point, I feel like. But as like far as like my It's really funny. My older sister, that's 2 years older than me though. She was the popular like high school, like everyone like loved her, so pretty, so like whatever. And I was like, I felt like the misfit, like ugly duckling sister, like whatever. And I always wanted to be her.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny because in a different life, it was supposed to be her. It was supposed to be her that was online and do all this stuff. So it's so funny now that me and her kind of like and now she like has like her baby and like lives this very quiet life, which is like how I always was. So it's really funny that we kind of like live. So me and my sister might kind of have like that. That's like really funny. But yeah, and then my younger sister Kitri, I'm super close to her. We were always like really close growing up and stuff. But as far as like social media and stuff like that, we never really like. It's not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So growth kind of changes people, but the internet sometimes doesn't always allow that. In what ways are you different now than when you first went viral?
I feel like I have a lot more confidence now.
Yeah.
I feel like, that's probably the biggest thing is my confidence. And also too, with doing hair, I always tell people if you have like social anxiety, and like I had a really hard time with talking to people at one point, that I feel like doing hair itself got me out of that, helped me learn how to make conversations and stuff. And like, I would say that my confidence online has like, again, you can see it grow too as I progressed with my videos and grew up.
I agree. What does peace look like to you now?
I feel like I'm at like a very peaceful, like, I don't know. I feel like right now it is very peaceful because at one point it's very chaotic and you're always chasing next. So it's like, but right now I feel like, it's, I don't know.
Yeah. Are you right now, would you say chasing like expansion or stability?
No, I feel like right now, like my whole life I feel like is kind of like changing in the sense of like I've been living in the South Florida, like going out, all of this stuff. And like now I'm more at peace. Like I have my boyfriend and like I want to move to like the country and have a cow or 3. And like,
okay.
Yeah, like I literally want to be a farm girl and I want to live like this like quiet, like little cool life. But I do feel like though, with like my social media and stuff, like I get excited for that next step for me because I've been doing the same thing for so long. I get excited to maybe like start a new journey and move somewhere else and like get a house, which is something, people have never seen, like, so it's, I don't know, I feel like it'd be fun.
Yeah, love that. You've mentioned recently opening a salon maybe.
Yes.
So that would be a big move. What kind of draws you to salon ownership?
It's hard because I always said I would never own a salon, but only because of what other salon owners had said to me. So even now, like I'll post about that and salon owners are like, don't do it. I'm like, why are you guys trying to scare me?
Yeah.
I do get afraid though that I would be a terrible boss because I'm so like, I don't care about, I'm like when I had my assistant, like she had to tell me to tell her what to do. Yeah. Because like, I'm like, I just feel bad like all the time. Like I'm always feeling bad. Yeah. So I do feel like the idea of owning a salon sounds a lot like I have different goals with the salon that I feel like I want in it. Like I would love to have like a classroom and stuff like that. Like make it like a really fun environment for newer stylists and like the growing and stuff like that. So, but then it came down to, do I open one in Florida? Do I open one
like
if I move in North Carolina and stuff like that? So I feel like that's the next step is kind of figuring out where I want to be and then going from there and opening up a salon if that feels right. So
what kind of culture would you have in there or what you would want to have in there since you worked at a salon and didn't love it so much?
I definitely like, I don't know, I hate to say like I feel like it would be more of a younger vibe. I just feel like that's just like how
I think it naturally
my clients have always been and stuff like that. Yeah. Because I remember when I worked in the salon, I was always the youngest one there, and I feel like a lot of like the older stylists that I worked with that had been doing her 15, 20 years at the time would just kind of be like, why does she have a tripod in a corner? Like I want mine to be like everyone feels comfortable with filming or comfortable with like whatever and have the education and have, So I also think it would be super cool because I have a platform to be able to help other stylists get clientele because people would want to come to the salon because, I own it and stuff. So I think that would something that like I really like would love to do for people is like help them get like a clientele too.
Exactly.
And teach them my ways of how to do everything and stuff like that. So
and also too, like, it's something about, building something tangible, right? That is not going to disappear because do you ever fear like social media might just change and go away or anything like that?
Yeah, I feel like social media It's definitely like a big fear. Remember last year when it like went down for like 4 days?
Yes.
And everyone's like, oh my God.
Like TikTok went away.
It truly is a really scary thing.
I
Because it's like,
know.
what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, like this is like I have contracts and stuff like that. So it is a scary thought.
Yeah.
And it is something too, like now that I've been looking into like buying a house and stuff like that. And like all the back end stuff, like about like they have to know that like you have these contracts, stuff like that. Like so much goes into it.
Yeah, it's stressful.
It's hard it's hard to like buy stuff when you do social media as a job.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I don't know, like you can't show pay stubs and stuff like that. You have
not
to like
as easy as that.
Yeah, so it's really super confusing. That's probably like the one downfall of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's talk about your long-term vision. Do you want your name on something someday, like your own brand of something?
Yeah. I would love I've been working on like I would love to have like I don't know what I want. I have so many different ideas all the time.
What it is,
But like I'm trying to like really take my time with it and know exactly like what I want. But I've played around with the idea of doing brushes and stuff like that and having my own. But yeah, I have like a name and everything for it that is like super exciting. So that definitely is to come in the future.
Yeah.
Once I figure it out, there's so much that goes into it. And like I said, I don't have a management. I don't have really people. I don't have a team of people helping me. My assistant just had her baby. She left. I'm by myself again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really hard. And like I said too, I have extreme trust issues.
Yeah.
So letting people in, letting an assistant in, and letting people. Getting a team is really, really hard for me, and it sucks. It's my biggest. If I could have a team and let people in, I could probably have so many amazing things right now.
Yeah.
But like, I'm so closed off on that aspect. Like, it's really hard for me to do that. I'm trying to be better. If anyone wants to be my assistant or help me build a brand, please help me.
Yeah.
Because please reach out to me if you know how to do that stuff, because I don't know how to do it, and that's why I haven't. So,
well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, how do you want to be remembered beyond social media?
Beyond social media, like definitely like with a brand and stuff, like doing something of that sort. And obviously like my classes and stuff, like eventually I would love to have some like, like the behind the chair shows and like the shows and stuff like that. Like just going to those and like I would even love to talk on stage like at those places and stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
well, you've been at the shows.
Yeah, I've been at the shows. And I did one Masters of Balayage, which is funny that I even say that I would want to do that, because after I did that Masters of Balayage one, I was like, it was the first time I'd ever been like on a stage with like lights and like a timer in front of you, and you gotta like, it was the scariest. Like I remember the timer, like you have to talk until the timer runs out. And like you can't really see anyone. Like, and that was my first time doing it. And I remember I had 3 minutes left on the clock. I didn't have anything else to say.
Yeah,
I stood there and I go, that's it. And I started walking off the stage. Everyone backstage is scrambling to like get it all. Like, I'm like, I'm sorry, guys, I had nothing else to say. Like, I get so awkward. I'm just like, all right, that's all.
Yeah, no, that's how I am too. Exactly.
So
I always tell people, I'm like, I can go out there and do something, but I'm going to do it the way that I'm going to do it, not the way that you want me to do it. And I'm not good at,
And it's hard because you see like someone that stands out to me is like Philip Foresto. He has such a great stage presence.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a difference between that and like a social media presence.
Yeah.
Like there's just like the nerves and stuff of getting on stage is so different than
it is.
Yeah.
And guiding the stage. And
but I do feel like that would be a cool like next step, like to do like after like social media or something like that. Say social media were like, I don't know. I still love like the hair industry and like, so
definitely. What excites you about the future that people don't see?
I would literally say what I just said about like wanting to move away and kind of start over and live
have cows.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm so serious because like, I don't know, I think it would shock a lot of people that I came from a small town, moved to South Florida, and now I want to move back to like a little bit of a small town, because I used to always be like, I would never move back. Like I would never but I think like you kind of put on this almost persona when like you move to South Florida, especially like when you're you're going out a lot and you're like, but there's only so like when you're truly not that person, because I'm just not. Like I'm such a homebody. I like to just be.
I am too.
It starts to really take a toll on your mental health, and like the drinking and stuff like that, like I've really taken a step back from. And like it's just not really my like vibe anymore in my scene. And it really shocked me myself to be like, I want to go back to like a smaller town, and I want to like
slower lifestyle.
Yeah, like it shocked me for a minute, but I've kind of accepted it now, and like I don't feel the pressure. Like when you live there, there's always like the people, and like when I never thought I was ugly before I moved to South Florida, and then like but like everyone has everything done. They have the lip filler, they have the boob jobs, they got like whatever. So like when I moved there though, I was like, I'd never even like thought about that. I never thought
Yeah.
about like getting lip filler or nothing. And then I started with the lip filler. I got some Botox.
Yep.
Got them teeth done. Like,
And that's
I don't
South
have the boob
Florida.
job yet.
In
Like,
North Florida, that is a different story because
Oh,
that's where
it's
I
so-
was at. And I was like the most dressed up person in the whole.
Yes.
I'm like, what is happening here?
The
These
difference
people don't
vibe-
care at all, like about anything.
yeah, the
It's
different vibe is
crazy.
crazy from South Florida and North Florida. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a little bit, the mindset of that down there is extremely,
Yeah.
has been a very toxic thing for me that I
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
love or like
Yeah.
feel that I align with
Yeah.
anymore. So
If you could talk to the version of you before the internet knew your name, what would you say?
I don't know, that you don't have to be afraid
Yeah.
to like, I really truly wish that like back then I wish that I didn't care as much
Yeah.
about like what everyone thought, even in like high school and stuff like that. I thought there was no life after high school. Truly.
Yeah.
And looking back, it's the most insane thing because I'm not kidding you. Like, I really was like, there's just like high school's like it. Like, you know, you want to be like so cool and like all
Mhm.
this stuff. And like, no, if I could go back, I would never even go back to high school.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't.
Oh God.
So
No.
it's really
No.
crazy to me because like, 17-year-old Lexie had no idea that I was gonna love, my 20s and like this journey more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
it was
awesome.
like, yeah.
So one last thing, what does enough look like for you now? Like 10 years from now, where do you want to be?
I just want to be comfortable. Yeah. Just like I don't need like all of like this
Yep.
crazy things. Like it's just has never been me. If there's one thing when it comes to me in this entire journey, and this sounds, might sound crazy or whatever, like, but I've never felt that I was doing anything for money.
Yeah.
And like that's something that like I genuinely found a love for the content creation. It does not feel like a job to me.
Yeah.
So it's something that I just truly like love to do. I love to teach classes. I love to like meet people and like it's just my favorite, like to do this stuff. And like I'm so thankful for it. So I think that like there's never like I just want to be comfortable and I've been comfortable and like this is like enough for me. Like
Yeah.
even just like being here and like all this stuff. So yeah, I
Awesome.
don't know.
Yeah. Well, we would love to thank you for coming. And I mean,
Yeah.
really, it's just been so nice getting to know you. And all right, that is officially another rinse. Go and repeat it where it matters.